morning, my lovelies, and welcome to my bathroom. Just got out of the shower and I really want to do a super minimal makeup and show you guys how I've been doing it. So first, I'm going to start with skincare. My must-have for the day is this right here, the Ren. The Ready Steady Glow AHA Daily Tonic. This right here just preps my skin so nice. It gets rid of any kind of dead skin. It just really sets my face for the day. And I just use a cotton pad or a reusable round. And if I know I have some dry spots, that's the area where I will focus and kind of very gently go in circular motions to kind of massage that area around my nose especially. And then she's ready for the next step. I'm testing this new skincare. I just got it from Sephora. If they have mini size, I like to buy those, especially if I haven't tried the brand, to really test out that product. This right here is Tower 28. This is their Daily Rescue Facial Spray. I really like this right here. It's like my second step. It's kind of like a toner, a second toner in a way. And then this is the Outset brand that I'm testing right now. Almost done with it actually. Doing pretty good. This is Scarlett Johansson brand. This is the Ferment Vegan Collagen Prep Serum. And I've been actually really liking this during the daytime. It's not heavy. It sinks into the skin really nice and just makes my skin feel really nice and plump. And again, it sits really nice under makeup. That's the most important part for me. How does this sit during the day? How does this sit under makeup? How does makeup sit on top of it? And then the moisturizer by the same brand, the Outset. Their Nourishing Squalane Daily Moisturizer. This just all came in a set. That's why I'm using this and I like it so far. This does have a little bit of a thicker texture. You can see you kind of do have to spend a little bit of time blending this in, but it's nice. I like it. And then a little bit of eye cream. It's the same one I've talked about already. The Origins Ginseng and Original. I'm not gonna use too much of the eye cream just because I brought up the moisturizer a little bit higher. I'm just gonna tap this in. You can see that gives it just like the slightest glow under the eyes. Feels and looks really healthy and glowy. And now, most important, this is kind of the base makeup. This is the protection SPF. I've talked about this one so many times. It's one of my favorites. If you have if you have a little bit more of an oily skin type, I think you'll really enjoy this one. This is by Paula's Choice, and this is the Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF of 30. I use about that much. It's not too much. I personally don't like too much sunscreen because I find it just kind of sits heavy on my skin, but this one's really nice, and it does have a little bit of a tint to it. So like I said, this is gonna be also my makeup base as well. And just my fingers and really take my time to get this on my skin. And then the trick that I found to help blend this even better is to really just pat really gently. And that's what kind of looks like right away. Gives a nice little healthy glow, but it's not too glowy and it's not too dewy. And there's a little bit of coverage. Love it. I'm gonna take my Summer Fridays, the Lip Butter Balm. I need to have something on my lips for them to also get prepped while I do my makeup. All right, next step, eyebrows. First step, what I like to do, apply some kind of eyebrow gel just to kind of run it through the brows, and then take my pencil or my whatever I am gonna fill my brows with. I'm first going with the Patrick Ta, their 4 Brows, the Major Brow Lamination Gel. I honestly have a love-hate relationship with this product. I found that you have to use the tiniest amount for it to work best and for it to not start balling up. I showed that when I first did the first impression. I used definitely way too much product. It's a type of formula where if you use too much product, it becomes very, very tacky and it balls up at the very end of your brows, which is so weird, but that's what it does. I'm gonna kind of run as much of this product as possible, just with the one swipe from the bottle. I'm gonna go back in and let me show you quickly. Like, do you see that? Like how tacky it is? So that's what I mean. It literally, when it dries down, it balls up on your eyebrows, like the ends of your hairs. It's so weird, but you definitely have to kind of play with it and see how much product you need for your eyebrows. because everybody's different, right? But I like the step first to really kind of laminate my brows, get them into that shape, and then fill it in, because that way it's so easy. I know where I need to fill it in and I don't overfill my brows. And then this right here is the one where I really kind of help create the shape. The first one's more for hold. This one is definitely more of a wet formula. It's not as tacky, it's not as sticky. This is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Gel Setter. And I'm gonna use the flat side and just kind of help comb everything through. And this is where I'll take my time a little bit to help create that shape of the brows. And then the next step is just to fill them in, and that's it. We're done for the day with the brows. Okay, I'm still obsessed with this pencil. So obsessed with this. This is the Westman Atelier, and this is their Bone Brow Defining Pencil in shade Bark. And I like this pencil because the formula is so creamy, but it doesn't go anywhere all day long. And my favorite part, the color. I like that you don't have to press too hard, but you still get a lot of pigment and product on your brows. Or you can press a little bit harder and you can get darker brows. But I'm obsessed with this color right here. I haven't found a color this good that matches my brows. There's the birthday boy. I don't know if you can see him. You can just see the top of his head. What, honey? What? He calls me by my first name sometimes, Lana. He doesn't say the M, he just says Lana. Okay, next step is concealer and bronzer / contour. I'm first going to apply a little bit of concealer, and this is the ABH, their Magic Touch Concealer. I'm in shade 4. And this concealer, let me show you the texture of it. It is so thick and so creamy, but the formula is awesome. I will say a little bit goes a long way. A little bit, only a little bit. You can always add more. Around the nose. And we're gonna let that sit. We're gonna go to a cream bronzer or contour. This is by Dibs, and I've been really enjoying this one. This is in shade 1.5. Double packaging, you have the blush on one side, and then you have the contour or bronzer on the other side. This one here is kind of like a contour / bronzer for my skin tone, but I will just very gently kind of tap in areas where I want it. It looks kind of intimidating right now, but it's actually really easy to use. And I'm gonna go with my Huda Beauty, their Face Sculpt and Shade Brush. There you go. It's a double-ended brush, and I will go in and just start stamping this, just doing lightly tapping motions to blend this in. You see how easy that really is. Next up, I'm gonna blend the concealer. I'm gonna leave this here for now, because I kind of am gonna use the concealer with the bronzer, like a very last step. And I'm gonna bring the concealer, because it is so creamy and it's so pigmented. I'm gonna bring it to areas where I want a little bit more coverage, so like right here, around the apples of my cheeks. Get rid of some of this redness right here. Redness around the nose, on the nose. And this concealer is just so creamy. And that's why I like leaving it for like a good minute or so on the face. You know, a little bit goes a long way. My favorite part about this concealer. And I can stretch this concealer pretty far in terms of coverage, because I don't want that super heavy looking under eye. And that concealer can look very, very heavy. Look at that difference. Bright, but it still looks very natural. We want brightness and we want concealing. We want all of those properties. I'm just using what brush is this? This is the Spectrum with Katie Jane Hughes number 8 brush. It's one of my favorites for concealer. Another thing, don't forget to bring concealer into your inner corner if you have pretty dark under eyes like myself, or just any discoloration, because it really helps to brighten up your under eye area. This concealer looks really beautiful up close and in person when you apply a very, very light layer. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the contour and we'll really work this in to the jaw. And when I was left on the brush, I'm just gonna go back up and kind of stamp over the areas where we first applied contour and bronzer. I'm gonna quickly curl my eyelashes using is this the Kevin Aquan or the Shiseido? I always forget these two, mix them up. It's the Kevin Aquan. All right, we have blush. Now, as you can see, I'm sticking to cream products, but all these cream products, they last a really long time. This right here is by Rose Inc, and this is their lip and cheek color in Ophelia. This is what it looks like. It's one of my favorites. And also I use this on my lips sometimes. I'm just gonna take my brush, I'm gonna dip it in, and look at that. You just need the tiniest amount. You might be asking me, why aren't you using the blush from here? I don't know. I'm just really liking this blush still, my Rose Inc, and I like the color. It's a lot more intense. This formula is a lot more creamy in my opinion, and it lasts longer in my opinion. When it sets, and it does not move. I'm just building it up to my desired color. So I'm gonna take that concealer brush and just very gently soften the edges. Okay, you can skip this step, I sometimes do, but a little bit of highlight. This is by Charlotte Tilbury, her Beauty Light Wand in shade Spotlight. I already have a ton on the tip. You don't want too much of this product because it is pretty glowy. I'm gonna keep it like right here. I'm not gonna pick it up too high, just in this area right here. I'm gonna create this C shape. I find that kind of gives that super, super natural glow on the cheekbones and around the eyes. Last but not least, mascara. This is by Rare Beauty. This is her volumizing, I think it's just called the volumizing mascara. I like how big this wand is. I typically don't like these big type of brushes just because they can get really messy, but I like this one. And when my lashes are already curled, they kind of had time to sit. I don't curl it, I don't use the mascara right away when I curl them. I just go over the tips when I'm like the very last step of my makeup. I just use the tiniest amount. I'm not gonna layer this too much. I mean, look at that difference. Just like where the lashes come from, you know? My lashes are so blonde towards the tips. You can still see it got it pretty dirty. I'm gonna clean the lashes up for my eyelids with my cotton that I use to clean up my lashes or eyelids. Okay, and then I'm gonna take that highlighter. I'm gonna take the end of that blush brush that I used. I'm gonna apply it to the tip, kind of work it into my hand, and apply it right into that inner corner. I only like to do this if I applied the highlighter, you know? To give it like a nice little moment in that inner corner. You guessed it, concealer brush. Just to kind of soften the edges. I usually keep my lips super simple. Like I said, I'll usually apply this on top. I'm just gonna keep the balm on there. Just gonna take on my finger and apply this to my lips, right on top of the balm. This is my super simple, minimal makeup, not using too much base products. My SPF, my concealer to give me that coverage, but super simple coverage. Like you can see, you can still see my skin, you can see my texture. It just makes your skin be the focus of this look. And then super simple makeup for the brows, for the eyes, the lips, the cheeks. I love how everything kind of looks. And this looks really good in person because it's very light. There's not so much coverage. Your skin looks very healthy, looks very glowy. And I just really enjoy this makeup right now, especially it's very hot right now. It's humid, it's muggy, and it just works really well for my skin type. Again, I am normal to combo skin, sometimes oily, sometimes dry. Right now, it's definitely leaning towards oily just because of the climate, but I wanted to share this with you guys to show you that you don't really need too much base makeup to really let your skin shine, and just use concealer to spot conceal those areas where you have redness or whatever else, and that way you can really control the coverage, but your skin is still there and it really shines through. It's been my favorite method recently. I've been really enjoying this. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next one very soon.